Hello Stampers, my name is Marilyn and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Prince George, BC. Today I'm going to be using the Pansy Petal stamp set, and it's located on page 28. It is a beautiful suite. It comes with DSP, the stamp set, and the dies, and this is the DSP that comes with it. And it's a beautiful set of designer series paper and the die and also the stamp set. Now the one nice thing about this stamp set, or this suite, is that it comes with some very interesting dies, and it will cut out the big pansies on this DSP as well as the small ones, and also it will cut out some of the leaves that are on in the paper, and it will cut out these ones here and that one there. So there's lots of leaves and whatnot you can cut out. If you decide you don't like to fussy cut, then you can go ahead and cut these out. But today I'm just going to use the dies from this suite. I have to admit, when I first got this stamp set, I fell in love with it right away. But when I got it, it was very, very intimidating. It comes with a lot of dies and whatnot and stamps. But I found the more you play with it, the more at ease you get to be with it. And you can create some beautiful cards with it. But for today, I'm just going to use the dies. And so we're going to start with a piece of balmy blue that is cut out at 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. So we're just going to give this a quick little burnish with the foam folder. And then our next layer is 4 by 5 1/4, and it's going to go on like this. But I'm going to do a little bit more to this. I'm going to run it through an embossing folder. And for the embossing folder, I'm going to be using the brick and mortar embossing folder. So we'll just line it up in here straight as we can. Oops. Okay. Put it in here. Line it up. And my cut and embossing machine is right here, so I'm just going to run it through that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so as you can see, we've run it through here, and this is the folder, and like I said, it's a beautiful embossing folder. So we're just going to run it, put this on be our next layer, and I want to put a piece of some designer series paper on it, and I'm going to be using a piece of the 6x6 designer series paper in the subtles, and I'm going to be using this one. But this comes with 4 different patterns, and it's available in all the new colors of DS or inks, and it comes with 2 patterns, two pages with different patterns on each side, and I think you get 4 sheets of each. So, but for today, we're just going to use this one, and I'm going to cut it at 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. So 1 1/4, 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. Okay. And I'm going to attach it to our embossed piece with some liquid glue. And you don't want too much on here. You don't want it to squirt out. This one's getting low. There we go. Take that little bump out. Okay, just lay this on here, about like this. See if I can get it on here straight. Doesn't look too bad. Okay. So then we're going to just set this aside and work on the pansies. Now I've gone ahead and cut some out because they are time consuming, but we need 2 of the big ones and 2 petals for each of the flowers and a bud and another bud. So, and I'm going to sponge them with some ink, and I'm going to use the Balmy Blue and a dauber. Oh, that one there. And I'm just going to lightly sponge going from the outside, or from the center to the outside, just and kind of flare it a little bit. Okay. And this one I'm going to work from the back. Oh, I should have a piece of scrap paper up here. All right. Just continue flaring this a little bit. I'm sorry for the jiggling. My camera's not, it's just mounted to my desk, and it has a little bit of a bounce every once in a while. So just continue sponging around these. And with these centers, I'm just doing it from the center out, just to give it a little bit of flair, and that way it doesn't wrinkle it too badly by flaring it this way. Okay, and we need 2 more. Oh, there they are. And the same thing, just give them a little bit of a sponging from the center. Okay. And then for the edges, I'm going to just give it a little bit of a contrast around the outside of it, and just sponge some around the edges. And this just gives it a nice little bit of a edging on them. So we'll just quickly sponge around the edges. And continue around. As you can see, this doesn't take that long. So how's everybody doing today? What kind of weather have you had? Well, the sun's shining, but the clouds are looking pretty much like we're in for another rain shower. Maybe even thunder by the look of it. We had a few nice days, but now it's cooled off a little bit and had a fair bit of rain throughout the days. So, but hopefully it'll start to warm up a little bit and dry out for a while. But Anyway, it is what it is when we can't change it. So just continue around the edges of these. It looks quite dark, but as it dries, the ink will get a little bit lighter too. So, and the last one. Okay, so we're done with that. So I'll close this up so nothing drastic happens. I'll move this out of the way. Now, I'm going to just kind of curl my pansies a little bit just by running my fingers around them and giving them a little bit of a curl. So just continue around and just give it a little bit of a curl. You don't need to be too drastic about it. And the same thing with the buds, so just a little bit of a curl. Okay, and to attach my pansies together, oops, sorry, didn't mean to hit the camera. I am going to use some mini dimensionals, and I'm just going to put a couple on the back here and remove the backing, and then we'll put a larger petal back here and another one on this side. There. And same thing with this. Couple on the back. Whoops. Didn't get the whole thing. And okay. Now, for the face of the pansies, I have cut out a couple of Night of Navy, and we're going to attach them with some liquid glue. And just put a little bit on there. And just center them on the face of the pansy. And do the same thing with this one. Okay. Now, for the center of them, I am going to be using up some mold gems, but you could use the new genial gems, but just whatever you happen to have works the best. And we'll just put them in the center. There. Quite pretty, right? Okay, whoops, we got to put my buds together. So we put a little bit of glue on here and the front. And the same thing with this one. Just a little bit so it doesn't ooze out. Okay. Now, the leaves are cut in old olive, and so are the stems. And we're going to attach the stems on here with a little bit of glue. There. Okay. And a little bit of glue on here. Oops, recycling. But nobody's gonna know, right? Okay, set those aside to dry a little bit. Now, before I attach my flowers, I want to put a little bit of trim on here. So I'm going to use some of the silver metallic mesh ribbon, and that carried forward to the new annual catalog, and it's actually quite pretty. Did you know you can color this? If you take a blender marker, you can color these and make it any color you want. But for this one, I'm just wanting the silver, so I will leave it silver. And we're going to apply a little bit of glue here. And I'm going to give this I'm going to flag the edges first. Just a little bit, for a little bit of more effect. And this one too. Alright, and I'm going to give it a little bit of a twist. Just to kind of bring the ribbon a little bit closer in the center. There. And we'll attach the pansies with a large dimensional, just one in the center. I don't want to put any more on. I want to be able to place the leaves underneath it. So I'll just put one about here. Stay down. And another one for the other one. And maybe just a little bit on an angle. And then we'll put the petals down once again, or the leaves, I mean. We'll just give them a little bit of a curl. And I'm only going to use 3. I find that odd numbers just have a little bit more of an just seem to be a little bit more of a appealing effect. So just a dimensional on here, and we'll tuck this one up in here somewhere. And another one. Down in here. And you see, by just doing the one dimensional, it gives me room to lift and wiggle and tuck things underneath. Okay, and we'll put one maybe over here. Okay. And our bud we will put on with a mini dimensional. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the stem, just so it'll glue it underneath. Remove the backing and tuck it under here somewhere, just about there. Okay, so That's our card front, but I think I want to put a little more bling to it. So for that I'm going to use some of the metallic pearls and the silver. I quite like these. And I need my pokey tool. And we'll just grab a few of these. Maybe one here. And one here. And another one down here somewhere. There. Quite pretty, right? So let's attach it to, tuck this back under here. Okay, I'm going to attach this to my card. You don't want too much glue on here. You don't want it to ooze out, but I find liquid glue seems to work the best if it's an embossed folder. And we'll just center this onto the card. Okay, now one more thing I want to add. Oh, don't know how I'm going to fix that a little bit. But in the suite there's some cute little bumblebees. So I think I want to add one of these. As I say, they are quite cute. So with a little bit of a glue dot, we're just going to attach the bumblebee. And where am I going to put them? I think maybe, whoops, come back here. Maybe right in here. Something like that. Okay, that's the front of the card. And for the inside, I'm going to stamp a sentiment from the stamp set. And I'm going to use the little things you do make such a big difference. That's the one I like. So that's the one I'm going to put on. And I need my piercing mat since it's a photo Palmer stamp. So, and some, I know it's here somewhere, tuxedo black. Okay, see if I can center that. Oops, better get it up the right way. We're gonna see right about there. Yep, that's not too bad. Okay, and then we're gonna take our bud and we're gonna attach it with liquid glue. Just a little bit along the edges there. And attach it right in here. Okay, and we'll attach it to the inside of our card. There. Okay, so there's our finished card. Quite pretty and not too terribly intimidating, right? Okay. I've got some other cards I'll show you that I've done since I started playing with this. This one is called a book fold, and it opens up like a book. And this is some of the DSP from the Pansy Petal Suite. And this is Calypso Coral and the new in color Pale Papaya. And this is sponged with Pale Papaya and Calypso Coral. And these are the new in color gems as well. This one is the die cut out with the DSP. These are the DSP pansies. And this is painted texture embossing folder, and just a pansy in the inside for that one. This one is a Z fold with a piece of the 6x6 designer series paper, and once again sponged in balmy blue and the Midnight Madness. And this has got the Midnight Madness center. Okay, so if you're interested and you'd like to place an order and get the stamp set, you can go to my store, creatingartwithmarilyn.com. And if you place an order, be sure to put in the June host code SSDYBJGH. These things are never easy to say. And I will give you a nice little thank you gift. Okay, so thanks for now, and happy stamping. Okay, bye-bye for now.